The opposition chiefs, members of parliament and the CORD National Executive Council converged for a session to deliberate on the cases that President Uhuru Kenyatta, his deputy William Ruto and radio journalist Joshua Arap Sang face at the International Criminal Court. CORD maintains that the Kenyatta-Ruto trial must go on at the Hague to ensure that victims of post-election violence get justice and that impunity is dealt with.
For the record, CORD has not changed its position on this matter.
Sources disclosed that Odinga, while addressing the meeting, rooted for the continuation of cases against the president and his deputy, insisting that perceptions that he masterminded their prosecution at the Hague cost him the presidency during the March 4th race to State House.
If it is being defied because he's president, he'll be president for 5 years. Then he might run again and become president again. So, we'll defer for 10 years. If Ruto becomes president, then another 15 and 20. What are we talking about? Let's be realistic.
The Kenyan government has requested the UN Security Council to defer the trial against the president and his deputy to enable them execute their state duties. The 15-member council meets on Thursday to deliberate on the government's deferment request that is backed by the African Union.
Any process which requires a deferral or a referral must be done within the context of the International Criminal Court and the Rome Statute.
However, a section of CORD members of parliament have backed the deferment request and have been informally meeting with their jubilee counterparts in what they call a bipartisan approach to the ICC issue. But the CORD bigwigs insist that any engagement between the government and the opposition must be formal.
As a coalition, our leaders will only engage in structured and constructive discussions and engagement. And, our history shows that when we do that, a solution can always be found.
It doesn't matter whether you talk to CORD, whether you talk to ODM, whether you talk to who. The position is that the trials will go on. And the Security Council will not change their position simply because CORD has spoken to Jubilee.
The government is preparing to table in Parliament a bill seeking to withdraw Kenya from the Rome Statute and repeal the International Crimes Act of 1998. The Jubilee coalition has 216 members in the National Assembly against CORD's 133 and is keen on using its numerical strength to pass the withdrawal bill. This, however, will have no impact on the Kenyatta-Ruto Sang cases.
Getting out of it, we'll be engaging in a political debate which will end nowhere.
The Ruto Sang trial adjourns on Friday next week to pave the way for Kenyatta's trial that kicks off 4 days later. A section of the CORD members of parliament believe that the Uhuru Ruto cases at the ICC were the principal reason that cost Raila Odinga the presidency in the March 4th general election, and as such, they believe that only playing ball will take away the sting from the Jubilee coalition ahead of the 2017 race to State House. Francis Gachuri, Citizen Live at 9 at the Orange House, Nairobi.